Hi, can you hear me? Check 1, 2. The sound guys love it when you do that on stage.
Test.
Do you know what's really important? I think it's so important to have a piece of script memorized so that when it's your turn to be the person that tests the microphone,
right?
It's not just like, oh, what do I say?
But you have a script.
I have a
noticed
script
you do
from
that.
Paul.
Yeah.
I'll regale it maybe on a future episode, but I think the point is definitely have something memorized that you can go off on. And this sound bit that I have is probably lasts maybe 15 seconds. And then when it ends, if they're not like saying to me, okay, that sounds good, I'll go right into my hypnosis script so I can keep going and going.
But the key about the script too is it's going up and down, and it's all these different letters.
Yep,
and
you're walking.
You walk around
the stage in the areas where you're going to be walking as a human.
I have not mastered an amazing script yet, so what I do is I just start doing the script of the show.
Right.
Which is fine, and like it's weird, and but it is fun to make everyone laugh, the sound guy laugh while you're doing this.
Right.
And it would be fun to like memorize. I like a Dr. Seuss book.
Sure.
Or just something a silly comical poem. Maybe like something from Where the Sidewalk Ends would be really good.
Or something poignant, so that by the time you're done your sound check, everyone's in tears.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if this is. The sound people seem to like this. I always tell them, you mute me when you're happy, rather than the other way around. That way I just keep going, and then when they're satisfied that their mix sounds great, I'd rather they not feel rushed and make it sound amazing. And when you're just doing check 1, 2, test 1, 2, everyone's like, okay, when is this shit gonna end?
Right. And also when you're doing test 1, 2, test 1, you like so many hard T's.
Right.
It's obnoxious to listen to it all the time.
Yeah, it's true. These are the little details.
It's great exercise to practice improv work if you want to. Yes, and yourself, or yes, and someone that's right there if you can.
That's a great
I've
idea.
done that too.
All right. Well, my name is Ryan Joyce, and this is
Graeme. This is Magicians Talking Magic. I am a new full-time magician. You are a full-time pro, and we are sharing our experiences
in the world of prestidigitation. There's a world that
wizardry.
Does anybody use that word anymore? But I bet you'll find it.
Oh my gosh! You know what?
Websites everywhere.
Oh, you'll see this phrase. Oof! It's so pretentious. Practitioner of Prestidigitation.
Oh, I've never seen that.
You've never seen that? You've never tiptoed through that alliteration?
Never. I have always had one phrase, and that is never use a big word when an infinitesimally diminutive one will suffice.
In my show, I go, I'm a mind reader, not a linguist.
That's good too.
That's fun. But I was doing restaurant magic, and a younger magician came in, and he expressed to one of the patrons in this restaurant, which is like a family style restaurant, that he is a practitioner of magic. And then these older women continue to take the piss out of him and go, oh, you're a practitioner, so you're still practicing? So he just like lobbed a ball to these people, like to
opened up a gate.
Yeah, like don't scale it back.
Right.
Dial it back. Actually, I was doing table magic recently, and someone came up and goes, so if it's not real, I can call bullshit. And I said, listen, sir, I'm not saying I'm more special than you or me. I just like went to the library and read some books as a kid and decided to learn magic. That's all it is.
You think that's how you should talk with your kid right there beside you?
Yeah. Anyhow.
The restaurant scene I did not flourish in, but I enjoy seeing good close-up magic table site. I have not seen it at a restaurant in a long time. Like I can't tell you the last time I've sat down and watched and had a meal and had experienced magic. I'll have to come down your way at some point.
Yeah, I've done restaurant magic for like a good solid 10 years or more. Actually, 20-ish years. I started to figure this out. Weird story. This is one of the most magical things that's happened to me in like I don't know if I told you this the other day backstage at our show.
I'm intrigued.
So I'd done the restaurant that's at like a walk away from the house. It's so cool to have that a bit. Like I've never had a gig so close. Like I can walk there.
That's awesome.
And walk home. It's so amazing. So I'll stay late because I know that I don't do the travel.
Right.
It's a great relationship. But I walk the dog in the neighborhood. So now I'm meeting all these people, these families in the neighborhood as I walk the dog. Met a family, did tricks to them, 2 kids, 2 parents and everything like that. And after I was done doing my magic, I was sitting at the bar, ordering some food and, trying to cash out. And the family came up and goes, by the way, we wanted to show you what Luke was doing, our son, before we came. And he showed me this picture. They had set up curtains. They were doing a magic show at their house. And he saw my post on Facebook that I was performing locally at the restaurant. So he, as a surprise, didn't tell anyone in the family. Let's take him to the restaurant. We should check out the new restaurant. And he knew a magician would be there. So
future magician in the works, I'd say.
Right. So I was walking the dog, and what I do usually all the time too, when I meet a young person that's into magic, I always suggest Jay Sankey on a business card or whatever. Right. Yep. That's the proper way to learn magic if you're young. So I was walking the dog like 2 days later. And this was actually right before the show, the KW's Got Magic show. And I was like, I pulled an all-nighter to do some extra work on the side kind of thing. I was really tired and exhausted, and I was trying to get amped up for the magic show. I walk the dog, I see the family, find out that they had watched Jay Sankey all weekend long. And they keep watching him. I asked them, do you have a good pack of cards? They're like, oh yeah, from the dollar store. So I just gave them the cards from my back pocket. Take these, you'll want these, it's important. Then they wanted to book me for a party. Great, right? That's relationship building. That's so important.
And isn't it like a true fact? Like, isn't there like 700 minutes of YouTube content uploaded every minute? And isn't 1 minute of those Jay Sankey?
Jay Sankey, yeah.
I think that's how it goes.
That's a real fact.
It is. I saw that.
Yeah, you can find out.
YouTubestats.com.
Yeah, or Wikizama.
Yeah, magicmasterclass.com, I think, is where I found it.
It
might be made up.
But then get this. I go around the corner. I'm now on my street. And a woman calls me over because she saw me do magic at the dentist office, which I literally did right after I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I did some magic with God's law.
Hold on, please.
Yeah. I start doing magic for the neighbors, and the neighbor mentions, do you know there's a magician on your street? Did I tell you this?
No.
He goes, did you know there's a magician on the street? And I was like, yeah, me. I'm a magician on the street. He goes, no, 2 doors down is this guy named Greg. And I was like, I don't know no magic, Greg. So he happens to pull his car around at that same time, get out, and he comes.
Did your back get up like when a cat sees another cat? Was it?
It was like,
friction?
What's you doing in my neighborhood?
Only one of us can do shows here.
There's only one wizard in town, and it is amazing. Yeah. So he comes up because I'm doing like ambitious card routine with Uno cards because that's what was available, and I'm talking to the guy. I go, oh, you do magic? He goes, yeah. My first name's Greg, and I look at him right in the face, and I go, is your last name Rob? I was like, yeah. So you were the first magician I saw when I was a kid doing restaurant magic ever.
That's so...
I have your business card in a cigar box that holds all the like important keepsakes throughout magic, right? Like your business card when I first met you when I was a kid and everything.
Right. That's so all trippy. Many connections with such distance in between.
And he lives right on the street.
Wow, that's wild.
That was like
It's magic.
Universe. So that was an incredible one of those weird...
Wow, that's nuts.
That's one of the most weirdest magic things that's happened to me in a long time. That full circle... everything coming together right there.
You have a Lance Burton one too. I think we should save that one for future time. But that's
that
a real
also
good
exists
story.
In the cigar box too.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, speaking of carrying things in boxes.
The old pack and tricks and moving them around. I've never dealt with this. Like I don't travel. I do a lot of local shows. I carry everything in the car. I've never had to jump on a plane and do something like that. You go like.
I wondered what the music was.
Yeah.
It was my watch. I thought your phone was ringing. Ta-da.
Ta-da. Was that copywritten? Do we have to delete this whole section?
Yeah, we won't be able to.
Do we have to pay Shaggy some like...
the Galaxy theme song.
Yeah.
No, this is the worst part of it, is the travel. That is, like, honestly, I've had a couple nightmare stories. And I know I'm not the only one because we were flipping through, Facebook and the like. Yeah. And Carisa Hendrix is.
Yeah, I saw a post like it was her legs and these are the 2 remaining bags and that like two remaining bags. Because if you know her show, she has a lot of props and a lot of things that she's probably created, custom built.
Definitely.
I mean, a lot of magic stuff is custom and it's unique items, right. But especially when you build it yourself.
And that's your show. That's your livelihood is into, 2 or 3 cases. So apparently she's lost them. And I feel that pain. We flew to India. It was myself and on-stage partner Kendra. And it was basically just a solo show in a briefcase and, a luggage, 1 piece of luggage. All of our clothes and everything came except for that 1 piece of luggage. And so the client just happened to be the guy that owned Hero Honda. He was the 3rd wealthiest man in India. And so we arrive, and the producer and planner meets us and takes us to his house, which is like 15 stories. And we're going up each story, and there's like somebody anyways, we sit down, and I have no luggage at all with me. I have no show, nothing. And he says to me, my friends fly to Vegas 2 or 3 times a year. You better be better than that. And I'm just freaking out on the inside because I have no show. I mean, I knew that I could pull off a handful of minutes if I was able to get to a store and get a couple items, but oh boy. And so within 2 hours from the show, they got the bag to the reception hall.
So you did get it.
We did get it.
You did. Whoa.
But it was such a stress. So I feel Carisa's pain on this one. I've had it on the opposite end too. When I feel anytime you have something that has to fly separately or under the plane, it becomes complicated. Like it just opens up a world of frustration. So with the gear, we shipped 20,000 pounds to the Middle East to do some shows for a very wealthy client. And all of that stuff got there in time, thankfully, but it took 60 days. It got literally, I mean, figuratively held hostage, all of that gear. And so I had shows back home on tours and things. So we had to pull together. I got my buddy Tim, I borrowed some props from him and put together stuff I already had in storage. And it was just like a total nightmare that, reciprocated for weeks on end in just misery. And then the last one was just damages. I've lost origami completely. I have no idea where it is.
It folded up on itself and flew away
Yep.
like a bird.
That's right. Just totally gone.
Which is brutal. How do you lose a whole
case.
road case with an illusion in it? Like,
Yep.
I think we always saw a comment on one of Chris's posts. Someone's like, it's still out there. It's just either been sold, stolen, but it's somewhere.
Oh boy, all that effort into that's right.
That's such a bummer. And she's going to be coming up though to Fergus for the Oh Wow Fest.
Yeah, she's in October. She'll be. I can't wait to see her
with
and meet her.
With a whole
She's
totally new built show.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Right?
Oh, there's pain.
But it'll be cool to be able to talk to her and get the the scoop of everything like that. Because she must have she's really creative. She must have a total backup show, or did she?
I'd be curious to see. I wonder if we can chat with her sometime.
She does have her own podcast too, the Shazam podcast.
Yep, that's right.
Shazam. So I wonder if they've. I haven't listened in, but I wonder if they've talked about it.
I'll be checking it out because I'd like to know. I would like to know what her approach was, because I remember seeing she was heading down to the Melbourne Magic Festival down there, which is like a whole month of magic. Like it's a massive magic festival. So no pressure, gosh. But she's a star. So the truth is, like, whatever, she will have succeeded. But what a bunch of stress. I can't imagine. Gosh, I hope it all worked out. I hope she didn't get any nasty comments. I got it's not a sensitive topic by any means, because I really don't.
Well, we brought it up kind of briefly last episode, but talking about nasty YouTube comments.
People can be. I just figure 13% of the population are terrible humans. Mm-hmm. It's just what it boils down to. The last cruise I was on, the cruise director said just 13. He was so much fun.
Well, it's that whole thing
with.
When you're on social media and online, you have a mask.
Yeah.
And you're not really confronting people, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, there's constructive criticism.
Right.
But when you're a total jerk.
Right.
A total jerk size. So have you been dealing with, I mean, you've had a bunch of videos go various, they spike, specifically, I think this one is an illusion. So right off the bat, it's like, it opens up for negative. Fake.
Yeah.
Magnets.
That's right. Yep. And so, but it goes up and down. Right now, I am probably trending in the Philippines.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. But it's fun. And so I'm seeing a huge surge in traffic, and just in the last 28 days, I think I've gained 1,000 subscribers. So it's really fun. But it comes with it a bunch of nasty comments, and I went through and I plucked a bunch of them out. that I thought would be kind of fun to
yeah, when I hear
through.
these, I don't check them out. So
Yeah, and some of okay, so most of these I'll try to identify which video it's for, because magician walking through a steel. So this first one really made me laugh. He says, "LOL, I thought the title said Mexican walks through steel."
That'd be a great sketch bit. Being at like the wall,
right,
and
right,
just
right.
a sheet, and,
right.
and people are flooding through.
Well, that was very topical.
Right.
I thought for sure. Or this other one was it says these comments aren't noticing the second illusion. Everyone's saying the curtain is blue when it's clearly purple. Did you see that whole blue purple dress face?
Oh yeah,
thing?
yeah.
So I thought that was
that was pretty good.
That was pretty clever, especially when the next one was the guy, when everyone else's comment was blue, one person chimes in like 11 months later. It says, kind of lame that he puts that purple cloth in front. Oh boy, this one I thought was perfect. I wish I got an applause whenever I slap metal. Fake. The steel plate is a paid actor.
Nice. Yeah. There you go.
You get a lot of negative ones here, of course.
Are those like brutal ones?
Yeah, usually. Yeah, this one I thought was fun. Gandalf is disappointed. There's a negative, creative negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly he is a witch. Burn the witch. We use some of those. Better to watch an exhibitionist than an illusionist.
This one's bizarro. Like, he's very specifically got issues with things. All I see is a gaggle of losers and lame jibber jabbering on about how cool they are to some crunchy Bible study tunes. Haha. That's a deep slice of pizza and some specific stuff.
You want to see deep slice? Look at this. Look at that. Someone took the time to write
a bit of an essay.
All of that.
So they had a hard night.
Clearly they didn't like it. They really.
Whoa.
It's really deep, I'm sure. Life-changing stuff.
This is weird. You guys, if you haven't seen, and this is all on the walkthrough at Steel.
Yeah, most of these are. There's one of them there's a couple in here for the
first of all
bear encounter.
This.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, this is
So
I got a bunch of those.
You got to check out the video, maybe for the comments, but I mean, it's a good illusion. It's a pretty awesome illusion. But you also got to comment below if the curtain's purple, blue, or is it gold?
Yeah. What do you
gold?
see? Is it a gold? Yep. Is it really a man walking through there? Is it? Are you deceived? This one is about the bear. I have a couple of videos about this. There's a bear video. I don't know. In the Alaska video, we had a bear.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are making comments as us city folk. Apparently, I'm a city folk. And this one was just fun. It's just bullshit.
Yep, great. They get right to the point. Like, nope, that didn't happen.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, there was one that I thought was just so clever, and it was here it is. I think this sums up YouTube to a T. I'm going to dislike this video and not share it with my friends simply because you made that point to push that at the end of your video.
Great.
Thanks.
Now, this illusion, though, this is your own thing, isn't it? Your own concept, Nick, but
it took many evolutions to get there. But yeah, walking through steel, I worked with Tim, my buddy Tim, on it, and Tim Clothier out of Vegas made it. And it's a big prop. I mean, we had 3 people to produce it, but I thought it looked good. Like, I was really content with the end overall visual of it. Is this idea. I always liked the idea of walking through the steel plate, and they never had anything that had that sweet opportunity for like freeze right in the middle of it. And this, we were able to show all the way around it, and
you're like Han Solo stuck in it.
Yeah. And one moment we had on stage once in like the 500 or 600 shows that we did at once, we had one problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and all those shows.
What can you talk about? Like, not specifics, but like what visually would be weirdness about?
I got to try and Penn and Teller this.
Yeah.
Speak in code.
Yeah.
I had to adjust my position in inappropriate ways in order to salvage the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was an extra ta-da. I wonder if I have
that sounds creepy gross. I positioned myself in certain ways, and it was an extra ta-da.
Ta-da,
or to-doozle, as we say here. on Magicians Talking Magic.
That's right. We have a couple fun footage. I think I probably have footage of that somewhere because I've all my shows for years and years. But I've collected a couple fun footage. Like we remember that shot from Metamorphosis from the
behind the scenes of watching the whole thing.
That's so great. I wish I could share that, but obviously that's not something we can.
Well, I mean, maybe an exclusive group of people could eventually see that.
Yeah, I showed it to Jonah Babbins.
On
Discourse. Yeah, right. and it was. Yeah,
I mean, it is amazing to watch backstage.
It's so wild to see it. And Jenna's incredible. She does that so well. It's
like watching a zoo documentary.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that perspective before. What I would kill to see that.
If you could see that perspective, that's a magic trick.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So those are some of the nasty, and you know what? Okay, so just to wrap up our whole nasty comment thing. I did the show on the hypno show on the ship, and it killed. And at the end of every hypno show, I always do this little suggestion, and I say, I'm removing all the suggestions, but I'm going to leave you with a couple more. And one of them is like, you'll never drink and drive. It's just a quick little something that I've always done from the beginning. And somebody complained about it. Right. On the ship, like legit pulled someone aside and was like,
whoa.
And so, there's no seriousness taken into that, but like, that's people, you can't satisfy everybody.
Kind of tying back to when we were talking about danger in magic.
Yeah.
And when I started to cut it out, I never heard this comment, but, so I did a comedy show with a comedian, Clifford Myers, and it was at a board game cafe, and I did it's the two bags. I was doing two bags at the time. Safe Opener by Colin Cloud, but I've now switched it. It's now a beer production kind of thing. But I would do it, and I have someone come up from the audience, and at the time they would sit on a bag, and then I'd go, surprise, this one's filled with dangerous stuff. And the owner of the store hated that I did that I potentially put someone in danger. Like, I mean, it's a magic trick.
Right.
But I get it, and I understood. I didn't understand right away. I was like, I never thought about it from that way of like someone that is hosting in a venue or the person that has hired you, because you got to represent them too.
Right.
If they don't like it, that's not good. So I started pulling out, that was one of those tipping things where I started pulling out the dangerous things.
Yeah, we have to satisfy the client and their client.
Yeah, because they're looking out for the best of everybody. And my brand myself, like I right now I claim myself level 7 wizard and your friendly neighborhood magician.
Right.
And that doesn't fit, right? If you're putting someone in danger.
Right.
It doesn't fit with that at all. Everything should be protected, safe, everyone should have a good time.
And not to deviate too far, because we've talked a lot about danger so far on the podcast. But have you seen the Death by Magic show on Netflix?
I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah, I haven't watched the whole thing. It's not because it's not my style, but I did watch it, and it's very well done.
It looks like it's shot really well.
It is. It's.
He looks captivating. Like he looks like he plays that part.
DMC. He owns the zone for sure. But it looks very cool. I haven't watched the whole thing. To be honest, I haven't seen the whole episode. I'd be curious to see what everyone listening thinks about it.
I would as well, because there's not a lot of magic on Netflix outside. I mean, we've got lots of magic.
Well, there's you got Fool Us and all that.
But you can catch it on anywhere. We've got Magic for Humans, and we've got Death by Magic. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Like a self-branded kind of thing?
Yeah,
I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure.
I think that's it.
That might be it. Yeah.
And then, of course, the big ones as a total is the CW network, is Masters of
Illusion. You get all the time. It would be great if somewhere showcased old world's greatest magic.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Instead of like trying to find clips on YouTube, right? It'd be so cool if there was some sort of like a hub of all. I mean,
you've got an idea for that we should try, actually.
Yeah, it'd be neat. Like I wonder if people would be interested in watching a magic special as we watch it, possibly calling in with imagine
guests.
Guests. Imagine you were to watch World's Greatest Magic 2 with Max Maven, and you watch his set, and Max gives you what was going on behind the scenes, what they changed in editing, or even with America's Got Talent now, because we have friends on there like Nick Wallace and Michael Paul and the Sentimentalists. There's a lot of people on there right now that we know.
Yep.
It'd be neat to get that, and even you did Fool Us. And you have a really unique story too, which I think you've talked about on other podcasts. You've talked about on some podcasts on
Totally. And with
Masterclass.
Max, it should be called Behind the Eyebrow, and it should just be like the camera just pulls back. And
Right. Yeah.
just like the barrel shot of a James Bond movie. And
Right,
at the end of it, you see Max.
Yeah. But I always remember as a kid, it was always Max Maven. Come closer to your TV.
Yes.
Come right up.
Yes.
Right?
We're about to experience something together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's always got to be a low rumble. Max Maven had the best interactive. Like he was, the next day when I was at school, everyone was talking about it. It was always the thing that Max Maven
Did it work for you?
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it would be a blast. We should really do that. And let's do. Well, there's stuff in the news. Okay, so did you see the Donnie and Marie magic thing?
No,
did you?
You'd mentioned this. I don't know what this is, Donnie and Marie. Is it?
Okay, then let's do this. Then let's film this. We'll watch this together, and we'll do a little sample version of magicians
watching magic. We'll do it right after this, and it will be exclusive content.
Yeah, magicmasterclass.com. That'll be fun because I'd be curious to hear your reaction. I just watched this yesterday.
Have seen that one. Have you seen Penn Jillette reviewing magic tricks in movies? Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
I've seen that one. We should do that one as well. So we'll have 2 exclusive.
That's everywhere. I saw that on Reddit recently. That's a great idea.
It's pretty hilarious. That's
a great idea.
It's pretty good.
I'm all in.
It's kind of surprising. Maybe it's not surprising because it's their brand of revealing tricks, but he just dives into it. This is how they do it. That's what they do. It's funny. We got to watch it.
I'm in. That'll be great. That's great. So follow along and check the show notes. This is for all the major points in any of the podcasts. Make sure to check any of the show notes in the description. They're all there to save you a little bit of time. Skip the stuff you don't want.
So in live show magic news, Shin Lim, he's got his show, right? The America's Got Talent champion, winner. He's got a show running in Vegas at the Mirage, right?
That's right. Terry Fader Theater. And talk about working the prime spot, right?
Yeah.
Vegas. Everybody wants to work Vegas.
And Magic Live's coming up really soon. So
that's right.
You're going to have so many magicians checking out that show for sure.
Oh, definitely. There'll be so many Instagram posts with Shin Lim right now.
Yeah.
It's going to be, and a fellow Canadian. That's so great.
Yeah, he is a fellow Canadian, right? He's from Edmonton.
I was watching one of his behind the scene vlogs, actually. So, Vancouver, I guess he was born. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I remember him referencing he moved when he was 6. So I don't know too much of the history. I'm gonna have to look him up. As far as
that's so fascinating.
That's so great.
A couple years ago, he was at Magi Fest in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
And I'd gone down with Ryan Edwards and some other guys, Matt Jones and Alex McWilliams and things. And we got to meet him. We met him in the lobby and everything. And that was just at the time when he started doing a lot of TV things, started really exploding.
Yeah, he took off.
Really nice guy, really personal with everybody around and everything. And it was really neat to see him do his set and then lecture on it because he's so theatrical. And then when he starts lecturing, he's very chill.
When he walked down the hall, was there a little waft of smoke?
Yeah, he billowed smoke the entire way. And the bathrooms, it was weird. If you left the lecture and you went to the bathroom, just smoke.
Yes.
Coming out of the bathroom. Yeah.
He seems, he's so magical. He really plays up all the theatrics of it. Limitless. That's the show,
Limitless
right?
is the show, yeah. I wonder if the theatrics, because he started playing piano, right? Before.
Oh, that's right. So
he's probably really driven by the music, which makes sense, because he's so,
That explains the timing.
Yeah.
His timing is so impeccable.
He's kind of like the Hans Clock of cards.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
He's got a little fan under the table.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Do you travel with a fan?
No. I don't have any fans. Oh, I have too many buttons done up in my shirt. That's not always the case. Oh boy, there's a thing. Now, since we live in this YouTube era, right? We've got all this footage from the past that haunts us.
Yeah.
I got a lot of that. That's for sure.
I have a weird college clip that still hangs on YouTube. When you search my website, Graeme Read Magic, you're gonna find this weird clip.
Oh yeah.
Because I went to TV broadcasting in college, and this was a project we did. So it's terrible.
And it's on your channel?
No, it's not on my channel. It's on a fellow student, a former student. Actually,
do you talk to this person still?
Yeah, he's actually a drummer for a band Caribou, and he travels the world doing huge festivals.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah. So it's kind of fun. I did a music video.
Are you getting any gigs from it? Don't pull it if you're getting gigs.
No, but I get sometimes people when I go to a gig will be like, "I saw this weird video of you."
And
I'm like, "Oh, I know,
okay,
I know what we're talking about. I know what we're talking about." Yeah. Why? Yeah, let's just retag it. Graham Reed teaches math. I don't know.
Oh,
Take the name off. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Not a very good opener.
Not a good open. No, not a good opener for a show.
Nope.
But today we're gonna talk openers. Openers is like that's a key ingredient to your show, and I know it's like a thing that people, especially when
so much pressure.
And I remember starting out. How do you figure out what a good opener is? You want to get like, the idea is you're supposed to get your character out, get people to know who you are. There's different philosophies. Do you do a magic moment right away, or do you just talk to the audience?
Right.
Right.
And you hear those opinions on both sides, and they're both very strong arguments. So which one's right?
I think they're both valid because it's based on character, right? If you're maybe
Totally.
more of a talking character person, and then you would just come out and address the audience and start doing some crowd work and things like that. But if your brand, like yourself, big high visual magic moments, big magic show,
something theatrical.
Yeah. You have a really strong opener. I mean, it's classic in magic, but you do it in your own style, which presents it.
It's part of something, like a part of a bigger moment. But I mean, I've always opened with the same thing outside of the unique thing that I opened with on the ship and such. But I always open with the newspaper tear.
Right.
It's just a solid piece of magic, and it's fast, it's visual. I don't talk during it, but it's just a way to establish magic, and nobody has to think, including myself, because like I said, I touched about it previously on an episode. I don't want to have to think in the first 30 seconds because there's so much adrenaline that it's nice to have the ability just to do. And then by the time your brain catches up with your actions, you're set. And I mean, that's a good little thing to keep in the back of your head if you're starting out fresh. I don't need it so much now, of course, but it's always handy to have when it's there. So I've always done a newspaper tear. I think it's really. What do you? Well, you're on a journey with yours. We've talked about it quite a bit.
Yeah. I've worked on it a bunch, but right now I'm really excited with where it's at. So I would do this Colin Cloud safe opener thing, right? And you have these two bags, and you talk about the two bags, and you get someone to choose when it's a psychological force,
right?
And they didn't choose the dangerous one,
right?
And somehow either you smash it, they smash it, you push a buddy on it, something like that. You can make I think even he's talked about the trick. He's done it with, he did it at a fringe festival, so there'd be one comedian tied up in a box, and then his buddies beat the crap out of a box of baseball bats, which is hilarious.
Yes, yeah.
But then I started playing at the danger, and I wasn't sure what to do. Then I thought about maybe a drink production,
right? Because
this tied into that when we were touring, we were trying to tie in my set with the show, and we thought about adding a glass,
right?
And that could fit in there, and it would be a glass production, kind of like a drink production, unexpectedly from a bag. So then I've been playing with that whole idea, and now what I do is I produce an entire pint of beer upside down inside of a paper bag. And the last little detail that I've added to this recently, because they would have a question mark when I do that, I come out to the audience. And just right away I go, what do you think's inside the bag? What do you think's inside the bag? And I do it 3 times, get 3 suggestions, rule of 3s, right? And then one time someone guessed it. They said a drink, alcohol. He's on the money. He nailed it. Turn the bag upside down. And on the bag, it used to just be a question mark. Now it says this side up, but upside down, right? So you have to turn the bag. It's a subtle thing because I don't mention I'm flipping the bag upside down and then produce a whole glass of beer. And cheers, I welcome everyone to the show.
Is that the best case scenarios? You want them to say beer the first time?
I don't want them to answer. I want them to not answer and know, because it has to be a surprise. And most people will say deck of cards, confetti I got, or even someone was like those squishy, the sponge ball things.
Right.
And then also when you do that too, I'm asking 3 people these questions, and I'm starting to figure out who's going to be great for the show. Right. And also, like, I think it establishes me because I'm going to be dealing with a lot of people in the show. So you're going to get the idea that I will talk with people, and I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to be like a jerk or anything like that. Right. Like with yours, when you come out, you have had the pre-show music.
There's moments and things. The whole point of an opener is to train the audience to do their part. Right. And that's to react. And so, like, I remember once seeing a show. This wasn't a magic show, but it was a show on a ship, on a cruise ship, and it was new, and they put it out, and it was getting tanked. And 18 minutes it took for the audience to have their first applause. Oof. And like that's torture, because the audience wants to applause, or when you're doing a trick one-on-one, they want to give you that reaction. That's their gift back. And so when you take that ability away from them, it's uneasy and it's unsettling. So an opener should establish right off the bat this relationship. I'm going to do this and you're going to do that, and we're going to have fun together, and it'll be over fast.
Yeah.
Especially like the idea of it being over in an expedient amount of time is essential, because if people are dragging through something, it's not fun for anybody. So,
but you, like in your show, before you're playing kind of like poppy songs.
Yep.
Right. Poppy uplifting music. And then you come out with like a big hit of pop uplifting songs. You cheer this newspaper up, and you get the idea that you are kind of like a pop star guy that's coming out. You're
I usually try to put video in the beginning to establish that motive. I don't like introductions. Like if someone off stage were to have a pre-written thing, I would just give them something very basic. I don't want the introduction to make it so that people in their heads build up something way bigger than I could possibly come out and deliver. So I've always felt that introductions are just keep it simple and put maybe something in there that makes them laugh, because if it makes them laugh, you've already started your job, which is to teach them how to react. So that's how I've always approached it, is how can I get them as a collective audience to start doing that part early, because it just skips it.
2 unique openers that I've seen in live performance, one being a band, Caribou, that I talked about before. I remember we saw them at a small bar in Hamilton, and a band, when you go see bands play, like a band plays, and it takes like forever for the next band to set up and coil their cables or whatever, and they bring on their all the doodads.
Right.
They snuck on there pretty quick, and then just played a song and started with like real loud sound and scared everybody. But now everyone's drawn in, like, oh, we're in for an experience. And the other one that was like the same way was Jeff McBride. We saw him at Magi Fest too, and like he does get announced, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff McBride. And then at the back of the room, you hear like these bangings, like whack, 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 whack. And you realize he's back there. And
so great.
He's waiting for you the audience to respond with the claps, right? So he gets everybody involved with sound, because sound is a huge part throughout his whole show, and especially theatrics, like master of theatrics. So that totally describes what's about to happen and what you're going to get into with Jeff McBride.
I drove 10.5 hours with Paul to go see Jeff McBride in New York City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then literally like one night turned around. The next day, yeah. Because, I mean, Jeff McBride, it was that close. So we got to see his whole show. It was great. Yeah. And so, I mean, talk about like Jeff, he's the man. He knows, he knows everything,
and he's really good at what he does, and he connects to magic and magicians, because he was a guest of honor at the Magi Fest,
right?
And I remember when we were all checking out of the hotel, he came and approached all of us and made sure that he shook our hands, and he goes, what was your favorite part about the festival and everything? And I remember me, like, Jeff McBride was my favorite. The mask routine, that's totally what got me into magic when I was a kid. I mean, I can't perform like that, it doesn't fit with me,
right?
But that's what I wanted to do. I was so excited by it. So when he came, I was like, oh. It was crazy. It was really crazy. And the fact that he took the time to come up and shake your hand, that's a huge, and I think that's a big important part of when you're
well, he's an educator. I mean, he's a thinker of magic, so just naturally he's imparting wisdom,
and he loves to share too, right?
Yeah.
Same way as like Eugene Berger would always share.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I had an experience. This was as a kid. I had an experience about Jeff McBride, and this wasn't negative in his part, but my overall experience was negative, and it wasn't him. We were at a convention here in Kitchener, and I volunteered to help in any way, shape, or form. And so I apparently was supposed to help him and tear down and such. And that's what I did. And I waited at the backstage door at the center in the square, right? But I'm like, I don't know, 14 or something. I don't know how old I was. And that's a backstage door. So I waited for someone to allow me to come in, but in his eyes it looked like I didn't show up.
Right.
So I felt devastated about that, because I was waiting there forever.
Have you ever talked to him after that?
No.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's weird.
Yeah, so that
That's weird.
so I drove 10.5 hours to see him, and I stood at a backstage door to help him out too.
And not help him out.
Yeah, but not help him out and look like a real dick.
You know what though? I would have done the same. I would have done the exact same mistake because I don't understand anything.
Right.
I never know these.
And now I know that theater so well. I know all the department. Like I chat
You're
with
a
the
theater
guys.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just shows you how early it was on.
Right.
But I mean, talk about a man that knows how to present a total show, beginning, middle, and end. And his openers were just proof of how solid he is as a total package entertainer. And he offers some really great stuff for magicians that want to take their stuff to the next level. So Mystery School. Is what that is. So
and even if you don't go and you just sign up for the newsletter, he gives incredible value just in the newsletter all the time. I get it. I read through it, and there's always like just bits of wisdom, inspiration, keeping on going and stuff like that. It's great. It's great.
A legend.
Yeah.
And he's got a website.
He's got a website.
Yep.
You've got a website.
I've got a website. I've got too many websites.
You have a couple websites. You have a bunch of websites.
But everyone has a website.
Everyone has a website. If you don't, you need a website, and you got to make sure that it's maybe close to being correct, right? Like,
what is correct?
Well, that's a big statement. That's a big. Or like, where do you start with the website? Like, what should you do? I know this is a big debate because I hear different information everywhere, and I think I'm a designer. I worked in advertising a long time. And I know as designers and programmer people, you get hung up in what you think is correct and professional and what is the right tool. And then you hear about these other new tools that come about that maybe are like subpar, inferior. No, don't get that. And you might feel that way, kind of like Vistaprint, right?
Right.
The way it's advertised is so big. No, they don't have good quality. I'm going to pay too much money for business cards. But they have great quality. And there's things now like Squarespace and Wix, and I've heard professionals not recommend these things, but the truth is they have really good SEO naturally built into them. It's easy to use. You can get your website up like today. I sound like an advertisement, but I know.
But
you can really, it makes it easy, and you don't have to go about like, I got to figure out WordPress.
It's not what it used to be. Even WordPress isn't WordPress anymore.
No, WordPress is even kind of drag and drop based now, but everything is drag. It's easy to do. You don't need a designer really anymore. Even Wix offers, graphics in there, but a lot of this stuff is super duper easy now, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be hosting your own website because you always need to update it in a 2019 soon to be 2020 world, right?
I stick to Wix. I just moved everything over to Wix, and I enjoy it immensely just because it's so easy. Again, not an advertisement, but it allows you to think less about how to do it and more about what to do. So websites as a whole, I mean, you just got to communicate the fundamental core of the same thing as your business card.
Yeah.
Your name, how to get a hold of you by another means, and what you do and some social proof.
Yeah. And if you have the pictures and the video clips, throw all of that up there because that's really the most of the information people are going to click on. The body copy that's there
is crucial,
but it's really crucial because it's talking to search engines maybe and not so much the client. Because I don't think people really actually read through these bodies of the website.
Right.
I think people are going to your website to see how you represent yourself. Is it a top hat magician? What am I getting into kind of thing?
Do I trust this person to rock my next event?
Right. He claims to be this. Does it appear he is that?
Right. Is there evidence somewhere here that he's maybe making a photo look better than it is, or he or she, or are they doing something that's not authentic with the truth? These are like, we're being scrutinized with our marketing material.
Right.
So you want it to be authentic. You don't want to make your promo photos be something that makes it look like you're bigger than you are. Right. Like,
or use photos that are dated and it doesn't actually represent you as a person, how you physically look now, because they're going to expect that guy to show up.
Right. And if you're worried about SEO, you want to make sure those photos are named right.
The alt tag. So an alt tag is when you would rename your photo, and like these websites, Wix and Squarespace, they have natural tutorials built in that'll walk you through it.
Right.
But all you do is when you upload the photo, you just make an alt tag, and your alt tag, you can bury those keywords. So like, for me, Hamilton Magician or something, Hamilton Magician on CHCH News.
Right.
It's the local state. You're going to hit some local targets right there on that.
Yeah. Think of how someone would type in at the basic 2 or 3 words to search what you would want to, and just make sure those words are populated in your content.
Yeah. And the old idea, and I've still seen websites do it, which is weird, is you would used to just type all your keywords out and then make it the same color as the background or in your footer and bury it. no, Google and stuff knows what you're doing there.
Yep.
Because the conversation doesn't make any sense. It's just
Keyword stuffing.
yeah, it's keyword stuffing. So if you make, I mean, you still want to kind of keyword stuff, but in a modern way, right?
Yeah, you would just want to put those words in some kind of sensical sentence
Yeah.
that talks about the things you're doing. So those words should be relative. They should make sense. If you're talking about, if you're a magician, the dialogue is going to be around magician related things.
Yeah, and your location will be thrown in there.
Yep.
And some other topical keywords about the kind of magic you do: illusions, close up, children.
Right.
Not like manipulating kids.
Right. And those quotes, of course. And those quotes that you've got, take the words out of them and put them in text form. So if you've got a pretty picture that's maybe it's a newspaper headline or something, make sure that if that's a headline, put it underneath and caption it, because you don't want to lose those actual keywords.
Valuable tip too. I worked for a TV station that was all about accessibility. It was for the vision impaired, a TV station for the vision impaired. That's real. And what we learned there for websites, never put copy in an image, because for someone that's vision impaired, they have this tool, I think at the time it's called Shark. I don't know what it's called now, or where it would be called where you're anywhere else someone is from. But basically, it's just so like if you mouse over the screen, it's telling you what the text says, right?
Right.
So someone that has and also that same way, search engines look at it. They want to see real text and things. So if you bury text in an image,
right,
it's not searchable. And if you put too much text in an alt tag, you're not gonna. It's too much. Keep it. Just find those few keywords that you need to get.
Yep.
To address your audience.
That's right. And do you need a blog? Well, not necessarily. It just depends on what kind of site you're creating. If you want to be active and be the number one, performer in your industry, yeah, you're probably going to need a blog. Yes, you're going to need a blog. Mm-hmm. It's just no question.
You should probably have a blog. I haven't put one in mine, but I have to, because all it does is gives you more opportunity to give Google and the search engines current keywords, which are basically the same keywords, but you can bury them. But you put them in natural conversation in the blog. Because if you're performing in your location, you can talk about the show you just did in that location, in this town.
That's right.
And talk about what you're doing.
And it just strengthens your connection with those keywords.
I haven't done the blog yet, and I should start doing it. I'll probably actually start doing it as we're doing this podcast thing.
Yep.
Is there an amount of words that you're supposed to hit?
Yeah, absolutely. 1,500 is usually what they consider to be just a general topic.
And is it the amount of words that help?
What it boils down to isn't really about the amount of words. It's about the amount of time they spend on your page. So Google looks at it. Google is reading those words, like using their own algorithms to obviously categorize the page and make sure it matches with what you're saying, the keywords say it's supposed to. But at the end of days, they're just wanting to see, when someone searched this topic, they came onto the site, how quickly did they leave? And how much time did they spend there? What did they do when they were there? Did they look at other pages within? Did they follow another link out that helped find the appropriate action? The Google just wants people to be assisted in what they're looking for. So your job is to make that happen. And if someone's typing in your city plus magician, you kind of want your name to be at the top. So your job is to create content to make sure that happens.
Right.
There's nothing mystical about it. You just really got to, use those appropriate keywords and use the platforms that we have, which in this case, once you do a blog post, you share it and make sure it's backlinks and things, and that sharing content, people will share it further, and it just establishes yourself deeper in the deep neural web of the,
And another thing too that you brought up there was backlinks, and real quick, backlinks are basically like, if I were to link, Magician's Masterclass in my blog, that's a backlink there for Magician's Masterclass. Right. And if I had an article hopefully posted, like say in like Vanish Magazine or something like that, like I think Peter does this, right?
Yep.
By having something on there, that's a backlink to his website as well, which makes your website better content and more people will find it through searching.
Sources are rated too. So to have a backlink on a really great site, like let's say, a brand, Microsoft or Apple, is pure gold, because they rank with so many keywords. There's so many sites.
And I bet some people are like, the easiest one is your local news or newspaper. That's a huge That's like
Yeah.
a big search thing that people are going to find. So that's a good backlink by getting your website on like the local news.
Getting involved with social Twitter, and Facebook and sharing those. And as a magic community, we do this locally, and we'll talk about that in a future episode, but is sharing your own content among magicians and
like,
supporting the community among
yeah, you work better in numbers than you do by yourself, because say you have a show with 6 magicians on it, you now have 6 guys sharing the same content to their pools of people, and you're going to create new fans, and everyone represents themselves different, right?
That's right.
There's no reason to have jealousy or anything like that. So like, boost everybody up, share it with everyone, and it really does help. And then you can have backlinks to other magicians on your website, because maybe I'm not the right magician for your party, but hopefully they still hire a magician and keep magic popular.
That's right.
Yeah. Because who wants to hire like a palm reader or like a Spider-Man guy? Right? That's weird.
Mystical unicorn.
Yeah. Elvis impersonator.
Elvis. The Elvis Festival is actually closing soon. That's how out of date Elvis is.
Is that real?
See, magic has stood the test of time.
It has to, because we have a brand new festival starting really soon.
Sure do. And we should really set up a time. I talked to Nick Wallace today, Nicholas Wallace. I don't know if I should say his full name. Is he a full namer? Anyways, we should have him on the podcast, and Michael Paul, because Michael Paul and both Nicholas Wallace and Nick Wallace have AGT episodes wrapping up soon. Yeah,
AGT content, and they're going to be at the festival, and also they're like really creative and have so much information.
And they met each other at AGT.
Really?
Yeah, they totally did.
Oh,
so
that's amazing.
Great people. So we're gonna let's see if we can chat with. I asked him if he would be on, and he said yes. So it's just about scheduling and time. So let's stay tuned. Lots to come on the next episode, because tomorrow lots to come on the future episodes. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you want to talk about on future episodes of Magicians Talking Magic.
Yeah, if it's a new topic, or maybe, we're kind of going off the cuff here. If we miss something,
deep,
and you think that we have more information on something, be fascinated to learn if you want to hear about it. But I think that wraps it up for this episode of Magicians Talking Magic. I'm Graeme.
And I'm Ryan Joyce.
We need like an outline, like should we say peace? Or do we say like
Tadoozle? We need t-shirts.
We need t-shirts. If you want a t-shirt, comment down below, slip into our DMs, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, tell every person you know, make sure everyone is watching Magicians Talking Magic.